So welcome to Opening to Your Flow of Abundance, a free healing webinar. I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. And I just wanted to help you guys open to abundance and move forward in your missions of service here on Earth. So what I'd like to hear from is some of you guys just briefly, why you're here, so we sort of set the energy of what we're going to do tonight. Okay, so this is sort of pretty relaxed, this webinar. So maybe we'll start with, who wants to share with why they're here? Say who you are, which country you're in, and why you're here. What do you want with Naomi? Do you want to try that? Your game after show your video. I won't mute you. I've done it for you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm from the United States, the state of Illinois. Very happy to be here. I bought your book, The Soul Contract Decoded, and yeah. I heard you on Open Minds, and yeah. I've been working at trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm 61 and I feel a calling to do something, but I'm not quite sure what. What you're doing right now today on abundance is very interesting to me, and I think that I think it would be good for me to see this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. David, I haven't heard from you for ages. Do you want to share why you're here and introduce? You've got someone else in the room there. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. This is my wife, Lucy.
Hi. Hi, Lucy. Nice to meet you.
This is our dog.
Dog, Ruby.
So I recently had to resign my job, and which was a very weird situation in which I felt like my safety was in jeopardy. And so one of the lessons that I'm working with is abundance and manifesting what I desire for the future. And so I came across this email, and I thought, wow, this is perfect timing. And so here I am.
Okay. So David's in North Carolina, isn't it?
South Carolina, really
South
close.
Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina. I was close. Okay. All right. Sarah. Thank you, David. I can't hear you yet. I think it's actually your physical mute on your. It's actually something mechanical on your headset. Try again. You have to bring the microphone down to your mouth. You have to bring the mouthpiece down to your mouth. Help. Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Oh, I'm so not mechanical.
There you go. I can hear you now.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I love my work, and I'm ready to bring it forward into the world, but I seem to be shy about expressing my light, really, and radiating to others. I'm with others a lot, but I'm not showing my energy so that I attract people. So that's what I'm looking to do.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yana. You have to unmute yourself. I'll do it for you. Okay. Hang on. There you go. Try that.
There we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, great.
Yana's about as far away you can get from England and Australia.
Yeah. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and look a little bit bedheadish. I've just got out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I've got the blinds open to look for the sunrise because I'm facing east. So I'm just waiting for the sun to come up over the hill. I resonate a little bit with what the others have said. I've just turned 62. and I'm still waiting to see what I'm going to do when I grow up, kind of thing. And because I've had a few goes at things and nothing really seems to have happened, and the concept of abundance is one that escapes me all the time too. I just can't seem to get it in my head. And so that's something that I'm, hoping to get from the webinar this morning.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, great.
I don't promise everything in an hour and 3 quarters, but I'll do my best.
We'll see.
Okay.
Thanks.
Actually, Janet's even further away. She's in New Zealand. So welcome, Janet. You probably had breakfast by now, haven't you? Just.
Oh, he's out there cooking it.
Okay.
Well, yes, I'm from New Zealand, and I've actually had a reading from Nicolas, and I'd registered for today and tomorrow.
You have to bring the microphone closer to your mouth because it's a bit faint.
Can you hear me? Hang on.
Yeah,
Oh, there you are. Is that better?
It's better.
Yeah. And I've registered for 2 of your things today, the one today and the one tomorrow, but my husband's got to go into hospital tomorrow, so I had to come on this one. I really wanted to do the one tomorrow, but I'll miss that. So.
Oh, it's registered and you get the recording anyway, so but it's always good to have you live. Okay.
I did cancel it though. I did cancel the one for tomorrow.
I will register again. You can have the video.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
And hello, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, Mari, last one.
Oh, hi.
I can hear you now, yeah.
I'm in the United States. I'm in Southern California. I think I do feel that I have quite a bit of abundance in my life in many different areas. Of course, the revenue abundance is another story. Although it does seem to show up when I need it, but not necessarily in the amounts I would like. And I actually turned 63 this year, and I too am figuring out what I want to be when I grow up. And I am working on a project, and I would like that to, well, it has kind of started, and I would like to make it an abundance.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and I found your book a couple of years ago, and I played with the software. It's great stuff.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, we've got a few chat messages here. Ryan K has said that he's dealing with financial stress troubles my whole life, and so is my family. He feels it's basically a family curse without the belief in superstitions. Totally, what will I do when I grow up? Feel that too. Yeah. And Naomi, you've said the same thing there as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, see what we can cover in our time available. So I'm going to switch to the presentation. I thought that was a nice sort of abundant fruits of nature there. And let's turn up to what we're actually going to do tonight. So how many of you guys feel that you've got something special to do here in the world when you grow up? Put your hands up. Yeah. Yeah, all light workers, service souls have this. We have deep in our soul. There's something special we're here to do. But the thing that happens, though, is that we get the feeling that we can't rely on the universe to actually give it to us. All right. Okay. And what happens there is that we don't get what we need when we need it. That's a function of being in a human body. So that then leads us to having a fear of stepping into the life you really desire. And David's just stepped into the life he really desires. Just got to work out what to do next. Is that right, David? Yeah. I stepped into this life I really desire about 20 years ago. I used to be in the corporate world. I used to wear a suit and go into London and sit in a glass office. And I couldn't take it anymore, so I left. So I really had to live through all of this here that we're going to talk about tonight. And so the purpose of tonight is to help you safely let go what feels familiar and secure, but it's holding you in a place where you don't want to be, stopping you getting to this place of doing something special for the world, opening to the flow of abundance. It doesn't mean money only, and so you can deliver your gift of service to the world. So how do we go about doing that in a reality which seems full of lack? Very few people have all the money and control of the place, and then the rest of us sort of just got to survive, really. So the thing is that abundance doesn't come from this reality. Abundance comes from within you. It comes from your higher consciousness. And the key to actually accessing that is you've got to clear our lovely human ego to access your abundance. That's actually the key. You're not going to be able to pull it from anywhere in the reality, because this reality is like a three-dimensional projection screen. How many of you guys have watched The Matrix? Yeah, well, The Matrix is about as close as it gets to what's going on, and this is a three-dimensional matrix that rearranges around the programming in your ego personality. So if you don't like what's going on in your reality, it's a reflection of what's going on inside you, usually at a deep subconscious level. So how do we clean out what's in the way of our higher consciousness projecting into this reality so that we can actually get what we desired? A few more people have joined, so I'm just going to bring them in here. Okay, so you guys have just joined. If you want to show yourself on the video, you don't have to. You just press the video button, start video on the bottom left. You're welcome to join us. Okay. So what we actually need to do is we have to clean up our ego personality to do all of this. That's the key. The most important investment in creating your mission, doing something special, is you. Obviously, you've got to run a business or whatever you have properly as well. But the most important thing is you. Okay. So what we do is that we use this tool called divine healing to clean up the ego personality. So think of yourself as one of those projectors we put on the end of laptops at presentations, and you've got a really dirty lens. So the light of you, the higher consciousness coming through you, is unable to shine out in the world to project on this reality to create your special thing you're here to do. So this is the lens cleaner. So we use divine healing, which comes from source. It was developed by Almira Ariel Halle, used to run the Center for Conscious Ascension with me and a couple of other colleagues of ours. And it's a multi-dimensional healing system which is designed and given to us from source to open to grace, to open to your gifts. So you can actually quickly and profoundly clear out all the stuff in your ego. So I'm going to describe what it is first, then we're actually going to go and do some around issues of abundance. And it reconnects you to spirit at all levels, which is where your abundance comes from. Okay. It empowers you. Okay. And it allows you to reach enlightenment, a very high level of consciousness, if you really work on it. Okay. And feel free to ask questions at any time or put them on the chat. Okay. Just going to make sure the chat's up. Just a sec. Where's it gone? Here it is. Yep. So the purpose of this work is to make life really happen when we grow up and become big people. I said that I had my 57th birthday last week, and I said, I think I'm growing up now, just. And so it helps us understand the underlying fundamental programming that creates our life in each moment. Most of the stuff we don't like. But finding out what it is the first thing, because most of it's hidden away deep in us, in our subconscious. It's about helping us make our dreams come true. Developing and fully living our vision, that special thing which you feel in your heart you really want to do, but can't quite get to it. It's here to help us heal deeply, completely, and easily and reconnect to your true essence, your higher consciousness, which will start to deliver your gifts and qualities. And as you get clearer, experience more love, joy, fun, and aliveness. Create more self-esteem and self-worth, more flow. Become the master of your life. David's just becoming the master of his life because he's in charge now. How does that feel, David? You're in charge now. Hang on, I'll unmute you.
Yeah, it feels good, but it's also a little scary.
Yep, because you're the only one who can decide what to do now, you see. There's no one to ask. Okay, except your higher consciousness. But as you become master of your own life, as you get clearer, you get access to your gifts and qualities, you can start to actually deliver that gift of service as a big person. All right? And then, how do we do that? Well, here's how we do it. So, this is you, this flame of consciousness, pure consciousness. And this is your ego, the red ego onion that your soul built around you as an interface to this reality. And this is the bit in the middle. This is the bit in the way, actually, of your light shining out to deliver your gift. And it's in the way of your abundance coming out in the world. Some of you have seen this before. This is for everyone who's watching. Some people haven't seen this. So basically what we got to do is we got to peel this ego onion as quickly as possible to reveal the essence of you. And then your gift starts to flow. So what we need to do is that we need to grow lotuses, your gift, out of the mud of your emotional separation, all the darker, shadowy emotions and things we carry and programs we carry which stop us moving forward, which we were born with, which makes us feel like we're never going to get out of the mud, stuck in there. But you can. It's about viewing all our separation as part of the oneness, part of the whole. It's not something bad, it's just raw material to be transmuted into lotuses, the good stuff in life. So, how did we get here? So this is our multidimensional self. This is Source, or God, or in the spiritual sense, or all that is. And what this bit did here is this had an out-breath. It went from the 12th dimension, up here, and it breathed out, and it gradually densified this light, this consciousness, from the 12th all the way to the 3rd dimension, which is this physical reality which we're in. This is the astral plane where, we go as souls after our physical bodies die. And this is the 5th dimension, which is where everything is connected to everything else. And so what happened was that we densified into this reality when we were born. And we had a sense that we're separate from the source. And when we feel separate from source, which is where abundance comes from, not a lot turns up. Okay, because our ego believes I'm separate from God. So our job to create abundance and bring your gift here is to open up a connection back to source, back to higher consciousness, at least to the higher self. Because when you can clear your ego enough so that you can connect to that, then your gift starts to flow, your abundance starts to flow. And this is an interference zone we have in the astral plane, which stops us accessing the higher consciousness parts of us. And as we access this, then what we can feel is that when we feel at one, even for a little bit of the time, we can draw from the one. Because if you're in resonance with whatever you desire, it can come to you when you feel one with source. So the purpose of divine healing is to clear all the stuff here, so you can get to this here. Next one. Hang on. So, as a human being, human beings were born with 3 primary separation programs here. Okay? And they are as follows. I'm just getting a bit of background noise here. What happens is that we have the first thing when we come into a body, when we're incarnate, the first thing we feel is abandonment by God. Because we're inherently separate from source, from all that is. And then at this, very shortly after that, we then get another feeling, which is I'm feeling unworthy to be loved by God because God kicked me out of heaven away from source, so I'm sort of stuck in this body. So that if we feel unworthy, then that makes it difficult to be worthy to be loved and also to receive the flow of abundance at the same time. And then because we feel abandoned by God, not worthy of being loved by God, then we start to just mistrust God, which is what this webinar is about. And there were two others we did on this one and this one. So when we mistrust God and we don't trust in the flow of God's abundance or the flow of nature, then not so much comes to us. And most of this is, we're like icebergs, most of this is 90% buried in the subconscious. So if you can actually address these three programs in yourself, which every other human ego program comes off, then you're going to start to be more in the flow. So, however, this is what most human beings do. First off, when we feel these programs, which aren't particularly pleasant, as we avoid them. That's most of the population, 98% of the population. And so people get into addictions, overwork, all sorts of stuff to distract themselves from the pain they're feeling. That's why people who don't work on themselves emotionally start to look really old as they get to middle age and beyond, because the programs are starting to solidify in them. Or if we are emotionally intelligent, emotionally aware, start to feel things, people start to feel, they start to judge that. We judge our programs and we feel bad about them. Oh, I shouldn't feel unworthy. Should have sorted that out. I should have sorted that out like ages ago. Okay, and our judgment and feeling bad about it actually makes our programs stronger. Ego gets a stronger grip on us. Or the third path, this is the most important one, is about resonating and owning the program, no matter how dark it seems, no matter how much an avoidance our ego is, and to bring feeling consciousness to it in the body. This is how you start to transform the stuff, because you brought consciousness to it. And finding out the origin of that program. So this is the process here. So I've noticed that in spiritual circles, a lot of people have the misconception that if I can understand my program, I've healed it. It's gone. That's only part of it. We actually have to not only identify the issue, which is what a lot of people are working on. We actually have to have the willingness, desire, and courage to feel it and transform it. Because when we bring feeling consciousness to the program, for example, the main theme here is the fear of stepping into the life we desire. Okay, if you can feel the fear 100%, that layer dissolves, because what you feel you can heal. And as that dissolves, that means that you have one less layer of the onion to work on to get back to who you actually are, which is pure consciousness, pure love. This is the core principle of healing and transmuting, no matter what healing system you use. But the ego is not too keen on that idea in terms of you dismantling it. So what it does is this. It numbs us out so we don't feel our programs. It puts this layer of emotional ice. It buries issues deep down so we can't feel it. We can't feel this fear, because what you can't feel, you can't heal. And we tend to be, in the West, very much control our emotions with our prefrontal cortex. So we try to suppress all this and feel nothing, if at all possible. So what we do here is healing becomes possible when you can break through this ice. And working in groups like this is really good for doing that. Because once you break through the ice, which is what we're going to do with divine healing here, then we bring consciousness to the program. We start to bring this awareness into the program. In this case, a fear of stepping into the life you desire. Then this starts to release. Grace comes from spirit. Things start to move. Things start to shift. Okay? So I want to talk about this in a bigger context now, that process, to show you the mechanism for manifesting that gift, how to move out of that place of fear into the place of really being in that flow of your gift. So this is us, the impermanent personality, and we're made up of a physical body for our soul to come into, some energy bodies, our emotional bodies full of emotional separation, our mental body or linear ego mind here, and it's full of separation, and we have a very small tenuous connection, what's called an antakarana. This is an Indian model that connects us to the higher self, which is the permanent part of us. But the key to overcoming that fear of stepping into your gift and accessing the gift and the flow is to open this antakarana up and access this higher consciousness. You have an atmic body or your God self, a Buddhic body or your higher emotional body, and your non-linear mind that just knows things like Mozart was downloading whole symphonies at 7. Your whole mission is sitting in your higher self. You just got to get to it. All right? Because this is the source of your abundance. This is the source of your gift. And when you open up to that gift, there is no fear, because fear is just in the ego mind. It's just playing games with you, really, even though it can seem very real and it can really grip us. And I had a lot of fear for the first couple of years when I started this business 20 years ago. It was challenging. But I didn't know all this that I'm talking to you about now. So as you clear the lower self, the antakarana gets wider and unconditional love starts to come in, which means the ego dismantles even more. It's a positive feedback loop. So your emotional body gets clearer, more flow starts to come, less fear. Because when you have this flow come in, after a while, you start to trust it. Because you realize that actually everything's coming from here. And if you keep clearing it a bit more, we get this. The antakarana opens up even more love, more flow. Life gets even easier. So when you're working on yourself, as you might have noticed, spiritually, life gets easier if you cleared enough programs, because this flow is coming in. You're being loved by your higher self. And if you keep on this path here, you get to this, where the antakarana is totally open. And then basically you have pretty much full ego dissolution as massive opening to unconditional love and flow. So when you're flooded with unconditional love, this starts to flow out into the world. So actually when you have this much love coming into you, you've let go by this stage. It's a progressive process. You let go, and if you just trust this and follow it with your heart, there is nothing to fear, because everything will just turn up on an as-needed basis. And this is the process I've been through for the past 20 years. Hopefully you'll do it a bit quicker than I did, of cleaning out my ego. Haven't got to this stage yet, but not quite. This is enlightenment, basically, where you just open to this flow and you go with whatever its direction takes you, knowing that it has got it all figured out already. Little David sitting in South Carolina doesn't have to figure out the whole thing, the mission. You just got to open to the mission up here. It's already been designed. You don't have to make anything up. You just got to surrender to what is already there, and follow the subtle cues from spirit, from higher consciousness that's going to direct you. Because the more you can trust in this, the more it comes. The more you can feel worthy of receiving it, the more that comes. So the key is to clear the ego first, so your computer projector lens is very clear, and then this higher consciousness will project onto the screen of the matrix, and then your mission will start to appear before you, literally, will start to appear. This is actually how you create a spiritual mission. And you cannot use conventional low consciousness ways of manipulating people or the reality to get what you want. It doesn't work. So all the get rich, especially internet schemes, which say if you do this, this will happen, don't work really. If you really wanted to get your spiritual mission going, you've got to do the work and clear yourself. And that does take time. Okay, it does take time. So what happens is that this starts to happen. Basically, your ego surrenders eventually, and it's the foundation. It serves the higher self. It's like an interface to the higher self, and this flow of the higher self comes through you, delivering your gift of service, because it's transmitting through a completely surrendered, clear ego. Obviously, this will start happening a bit earlier than that, but that's the goal. If you seriously want to bring your gift here to Earth, this is how you do it. Okay, you've got to do the work, and you've got to really be clear, and you've got to feel deep in you. It's not just about the mind saying, well, I'm going to create this or that or the other. If you haven't cleared it at an emotional, deep, subconscious level, it's not going to happen. Not in the way you truly desire. So, this is what's going on here. Most of us, when we first start off, are following the path of the ego, the path of suffering, what we think we should be doing, which is the dotted line. And that leads to a life which is not so pleasant, because it's the little ego trying to work it out all by itself. But the idea is to open, as I've been explaining to you, to the high vastness of spirit, high consciousness, and then start to follow this path here, which is called the path of bliss. This is following what we call the spiritual signature. Because in each moment, there's one right heart-opening action, and if you take that action as you bring your gift out in the world, your mission starts to happen, your gift starts to be delivered. And the purpose of divine healing is to bring you from this path of the ego to the path of the spirit, following the heart. And gradually you'll start to converge. This is one of the most important diagrams I'm going to show you. You'll start to converge on the spiritual signature. Because your heart will open to one right action in the moment. If you're not sure what to do, try on whatever options you have, and whatever opens your heart the most is the right action. You find if you follow that, especially in making business decisions, say David, you'll find it actually works. And it's not logical. I used to try and figure out this whole business I ran here just linearly with my left brain because I was trained as an engineer. But actually, that didn't actually work at all. But when I started doing this, which is what our mirror taught me, then things really started to happen. Like you call a certain person at a certain time, you do a certain action, and it may not make sense in the conventional business sense, but it was just the right thing to say to the right person at the right time. An opportunity opened up. Okay? So the aim is to converge on the spiritual signature, which is your flow, this is your gift manifesting through you in each moment. And if you can do that and align to it, the flow of the heart, which is your spirit, uses the heart as your guidance system. Okay, it's not about making it happen. It's the mind trying to force things. Because the ego believes it's all powerful, but it's actually quite minuscule, really. You're actually getting out of the way of your spirit, your high consciousness, to deliver your gift. So you're not doing it by yourself. You're actually a servant of higher consciousness. And then it will happen. But it'll probably have a few fits along the way as well, because it has to learn to let go and trust that this will actually work out. So what happens is this. Your flow of life force, which is these blue guys here, is blocked by all these fears. Fears are very low frequency energy. And that, if you say, it's 2/3 of your life force blocked, then the diminished life force results in low energy, pain, limitation in your life. So you're only getting about 1/3 of your life force flowing, and that's actually how you manifest your mission, your gift. So that's not much, we're wasting a lot of this potential because these programs are in the way. They have to be dissolved to actually unleash all of you. So bringing consciousness to these blockages and clearing them frees up this life force. So as this goes out into the world, more of your mission starts to happen. Okay? So not only does it start to happen, but you get clarity. As you clear the layers of these programs, these blockages, more and more of the mission starts to reveal itself. It's not sort of one moment where you get some biblical slab which says, Maori, you're here to do this. It's more like, try this. And you follow your heart. More comes up. More comes up. So it's following breadcrumbs, really, the way this works. Okay? It's important to follow the breadcrumbs because there's actually one optimal path. Even though a situation may seem insurmountable, there's always a way out of everything. Just got to pay attention because it's because your mind can't figure it out doesn't mean it's not there. It's actually the thing in the way of you getting to where you want. So I've been in some very challenging situations since I left the corporate world, but there's always been a way, just that I had to let go of trying to control it and step out of all my fear, which I had a lot of, and to actually surrender to what actually would work. And then when I let go, the universe would come up with some amazing intervention idea, which I could never have thought of, and that actually solved the issue, solved the problem. Any questions on that before we get into a direct experience of that? No questions at all? Okay. All right. Well, let us get on to the actual doing a bit of divine healing in that case, and that there's no questions. So this is the divine healing manual for level 1. There's 5 levels, and this is very much about empowering yourself, and this is about transforming the 12-stranded DNA we have and activating, cleaning it out and activating all the good bits that we need for our mission. So the 3, Almira, Shakira, and Mary, who designed this. And so give you a little bit of structure of how this works before we actually go and do some. Divine healing is made up of 26 charts using the letter of the alphabet. And these were channeled from many different realms, like the angels. Some came from ascended masters, some came from extraterrestrials, many different schools on the high dimensions of learning and knowledge and healing are trying to help us ascend in consciousness. And so it covers a whole range of things which help us dismantle the ego onion I've just been talking about. So things like angels, angelic frequencies, essences, frequencies to change things, repairing the chakras, hydrating us so we can feel more, fears and phobias, how we disconnect from God, hidden agendas of the ego, which sabotage us a lot, energy interferences, judgments. This is a big one, key psychological conflicts, deep hidden stuff which stops us from bringing our gift forward in the world. Low frequency programs, which we're going to work on here. Past life death, a lot of what we're processing is from past lives, which we're going to work on that one. We sabotage ourselves a lot, carry a lot of trauma which slows us up, and we have lots of imbalances in our polarities, and this is little individual codes for healing as well. So what we're going to do is that we're going to clean out a whole bunch of energy interference here. Okay, so what I'd like you guys to do is just to close your eyes. We're going to clear out the interference you saw from the astral plane diagram. If I can find it before we get into it. We're going to clear out a whole bunch of this red layer, okay, which is stopping you from accessing more of higher consciousness, which has been messing with you an awful lot. All right, so close your eyes, and we're going to do a bit of house cleaning now. So I've got a whole bunch of manuals here. I'm going to do this on you silently. So, okay. Okay. There's many different types of interferences which sit in the astral plane and sit in us, in our physical bodies, and they actually sit in energy fields, and they slow us down a lot. So we're going to clear you guys out quite a bit. So the first group of beings we're going to clear out are what we call earthbound souls. And these beings, they come from someone whose physical body has died and they've left the body, but they haven't left the earth plane. And they're hanging out with you because you have a similar resonance in terms of frequency, but they're slowing you down and feeding off your energy. All right, so close your eyes, just breathe through your mouth, feet flat on the ground, and we're going to clear this layer, okay? So we're doing the command code silently, just breathing into your body, breathing into your belly, being present with yourself. And just, you'll probably feel a few things move around in your body and your fields. Here we go. So feel the shift, that layer of them is moving now. We also have ETs, extraterrestrial beings, hanging out in our fields and vibrating in the astral plane. They can interfere with us as well, so we're going to clear them out. Nothing to be worried about with these guys. Keep breathing through your mouths. Feel the shift as that layer leaves. Now we're going to release discarnates, entities, and attachments. These are all sorts of different types of astral beings, okay? I'm going to release a whole bunch of them. So keep breathing through your mouth. Keep showing your body. Feel the energy shift as that layer leaves. If your body needs to move, you need to burp, or whatever, it's fine. So it's just negative energy shifting. Having Archangel Michael take this light to the light. Raising your body's frequency so they can't find you again. Okay, just open your eyes now when you're ready. So let's like to hear from a few of you guys how that felt as you did that. Mari, do you want to share how that felt? I'll unmute you.
I felt a lot of twitching in my legs.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Yeah, something was leaving.
Yeah. It started on my left leg, and the left leg kind of, petered down, and then my upper right back thigh started twitching. They weren't deep twitches, but it's stuff you don't feel on a regular basis.
No, what's hiding away, trying to slow you down, these beings.
Yeah. The ironic thing is before I signed up for this class, I was thinking I needed some clearings done.
Here we are.
Divine timing.
Okay. Thank you. Naomi, how was that?
It was interesting. I felt tingling in my hands, which I'm used to because I've done Reiki on people before, but it was different. It was almost as if there was energy coming in the right hand and it was going out of the left hand. And then I felt something in my heart that there was sort of a tightness, and that released. And then in my throat, the same thing. And then right between my eyebrows at the sixth chakra, there was sort of a mini headache, which it released too. So it was quite interesting. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, these energies, they basically slow us down because they want to keep us the way we are. So we need to get them off us. So which is what we're doing here.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jana, how was that for you?
It was good. It's still going, actually. And the first one, not so much, but the second one was a huge relief, all from the core of my body.
Yeah.
And the third one was not quite as strong as that, but it's all still clearing, and all from around my sacral and solar plexus area. And right up the top, I can feel it all sort of moving upwards. And there was a lot of fear attached to it as well. I've grappled with a lot of fear and anxiety through my life, and I felt as if a lot of that fear was actually beginning to lift, and it was a bit emotional too.
Yeah, well, it wasn't your fear, it was these beings holding the fear in place.
Yeah.
Going to trigger it in you to feed off it. That's what they're actually doing.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to not having fear.
Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Thank you. Janet, how was that?
Well, the first one, there's something that left on here. The second one was something from here. From my left thigh, and everything from here. And I'm still yawning.
Yeah, it's okay to yawn and burp, you guys. It's all right. Just let it out. Even I want to yawn now. It's not rude in this sort of situation to do that, okay? All right. Sarah. I haven't quite caught up yet. Hang on. Can't quite hear you. Try now. No. Wiggle your plug. Wiggle the plug. Is it on the headset control? Is the headset controller on unmute? No. I will try later. Okay.
There I am.
Okay, got you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
More techie problems. For me, it just felt like lifting some layers lightly from the head.
Yeah.
Each of those. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. David and Lucy.
Yeah, I felt a real expansiveness and a sort of like my energy field got much larger, and it was as though the constriction was being released. Lucy had an interesting experience.
Well, when you were doing the one with the deities, it almost felt like there is a worm crawling out of my right heel. And that was really weird. It was just kind of wiggling out. And I was like, ooh, that's weird. I felt towards the end, just like a lightness in my my physical vibration. So that was very nice.
Well, there was a worm, Lucy, but it's gone now.
Right.
Galina, okay, thank you, people. Is anyone who's not on the video want to comment? You can just switch your microphone on and have it if you want. Don't have to if you don't want to. No? Okay. All right. So, what we're going to do now is that we're going to work on what are called main low frequency programs, which I mentioned earlier. All right, I'm just going to swing the manual over to you. Okay. Just going to bring this manual over. The first thing we'll do is I shall just get you to close your eyes. All right. And I'd like you to focus on your gift of service for what you know now, whatever that is. Give it your best shot. Just focus on feeling your heart, visualize in your heart what it is you're here to deliver. For example, my gift is to help people awaken and get empowered and get out there and express their missions of service. Okay? I'll just focus on that. And then become aware of any fears that are coming up because of you stepping into that life you already desire, stepping into delivering that gift, and breathe through your mouth with that. And this time, just allow whatever's there, because your egos, which isn't you, may have been suppressing that. But it's important to feel all the fears we have around really stepping out on our mission. Because many of us as light workers are called. There's about 400 million of us on Earth, but only very few actually step up because their ego gets them. But this is about taking charge, becoming empowered, and not letting it play games with you. And breathe into whatever fear that is, or whatever feeling it is. It could be anxiety, could be whatever. Okay, feel what that is. Breathing through the mouth is most important. If you breathe through your nose, just stay in your head. Okay, and the ego may not want you to breathe through your mouth because it doesn't want you to feel the stuff. But the feeling of it is your key. It's the secret to this whole thing. And for those of you who aren't able to maybe feel exactly what that is, if you can feel what it is, don't open your eyes, okay? This is important. If you're not sure what's going on, okay, Mari, you need to open your mouth a little bit more. Okay, yep. These are main low frequency programs, some which are relevant to this, okay? So if you're not sure what you're feeling, one of these may jump out at these low frequency programs here. And whatever that jumps out at you, write it down, because that's your program for this moment that your ego's decided to peel. Don't be tempted to look if you can feel what you have already got, because otherwise your mind will switch on and it will distract you from the authentic feeling in your body. Some of these may be relevant to you if you're not sure what you're feeling, which is normal, because our ego doesn't want us to feel a thing. This applies to the same of you guys are watching it on YouTube after. Okay. All right. So become aware of how the program that you're feeling operates in your life. Just feel it. This is breathing into that little red ball of an issue that I showed you before with the blue lightning. Okay. Just be aware of it. Now, we also need to target, well, where did this thing come from? It came from somewhere. And the more we know where something, more we can target where something came from and bring more consciousness to it, the more deeply we can clear it. So if you open your eyes now, we're going to look at the original time when the program that you can feel, okay, came up. So look at this list here, pick a number between 1 and 24, whatever your eye is drawn to, okay? Just pick that number, because that's where your program came from, all right? And when you know where a program came from, then you can start to go deeper in clearing the thing. Like it might have been before the world was formed. That's the one that jumped out at me. Okay, you don't have to understand what these all mean, okay? We explain that on the Divine Healing Training. And write that down or note that down. Just be aware of it, okay? So now you can feel the program, and you know where it came from. So you're bringing a lot of consciousness to the thing. And you can repeat this by watching the video later and do different ones as well. Okay. All right. So now, keeping your eyes closed, now you know where this thing came from, this fear or whatever program is that's holding you from really stepping out in the world with your gift. Open to all aspects of the feeling, keeping your eyes closed, very important, because you open your eyes, your mental body switches on, then it moves out of feeling into thinking. And we're not really interested in doing too much thinking with this process. And breathe yourself into the feeling. We're doing this, we're breathing our awareness into the feeling of whatever that main low frequency program is. Okay. stopping you stepping into what you really desire to do. Breathe deeper, expand your awareness out into the program. Go to places you may have never been before to feel all aspects of this low frequency program, this feeling. Keeping breathing through your mouth, becoming aware of any of the ego's attachment to holding on to this thing and trying to keep it hidden from you. Become aware of any feelings of being bad for having this program. That holds it in as well. Become aware of any judgment your ego has of the program. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling fear. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling worthy. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling with lack of trust. The more you can open to all those components of it, which ego's been trying to hold away from you, hidden from you for years, the more it can integrate and heal. Keep breathing into that program, because we're going to do a command code in a little while, a silent one, which is going to clear that, but you must stay in the feeling of it, because this is actually how the command code works, because you can feel it when we do the command code, that layer will clear of the ego onion. We're going to do this command code silently now. Okay, feel the shift. Keeping your eyes closed, everybody. I want you now to shift your awareness, okay, to all the past lives, just through pure intention. This is how divine healing works, which have created this current situation where you have a fear of stepping into your life, into the life you really desire to manifest your gift of service. These past lives will come to you. You may feel them, you may see them, just sense them. Just breathe into that, because we often pursue many lifetimes with similar themes. Just the intention will take you there, and your higher self will show you those past lives in some way that works for you. Because we're usually processing lots of unresolved past life files and memories. And most of these will probably seem familiar to you, even if you haven't come across them before. And ask your higher self, well, how many past lives were involved? You may get a number like 5 or 6 or 10, and you get an idea of the extent of what you have been exploring at a soul level through many incarnations. Again, this is another targeting mechanism on the program, because we're going to dissolve all those past life files and memories in a minute. Once you breathe enough into them. Okay, I'm going to do the command code now, okay, quietly. I want you to keep breathing into those past lives and watch what happens to them. Oh, I'm really clearing some negative energy and making me yawn this one. Thank you. Everyone just say thank you, express gratitude, and embrace the shift that's occurring here. You can open your eyes now. We have a little bit of feedback on that one before we continue. Who would like to share on that? Just put your hands up, you guys on video, or anyone else who wants to share. I'll just pick somebody. Murray, a big smile. I'm gonna pick you. Yeah.
This was pretty interesting. A lot of back chakra stuff, mainly in the shoulders and the heart chakra. But when we got to the clearing part, my past lives, which have been impacting me in this life, turned into a small blue ball and then expanded out, and then expanded out into white light, and then expanded again into purple light. And I could see my eye, like in the middle of the How cool.
And how did, was that as we did the healing command code?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
How do you feel now about them?
Good. I've been working with them for about 2 years now, and one of them in particular has been driving me nuts. So this is good. This is very good.
Yeah. 80-90% of what you experience is past life feeds.
Yeah.
It's not of this life at all. So that's why some things seem out of proportion. How come I got this much stuff? I haven't had enough time to be that bad.
Or the repeating of the energy patterns that you thought you cleared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's an onion, but seriously.
It's a very big onion. So. David and Lucy. How was that?
Well, I had some fierce. Well, what was going on for me was something about bringing my gifts into the world, but it was about my family sort of disowning me, rejecting me, and then being sabotaged by them. And so as I moved through that, it was the future life that kind of came up. And then, but then when you did the clearing code, I guess, I felt this release happen between my heart and my head, and specifically in my neck area. It just felt like it was dissolving away, which was really nice. Because it felt very heavy on my heart. So that feels really nice now.
You look a bit lighter, yeah. Yeah, good. David, how was yours?
It was very good. For me, it was energies that were along the right side, over this eye, and then in the back and the shoulder area. They were intensifying, and then when the command code came through, that released for me. That was really nice. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Sarah, do you want to try again?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So for me, it was in the sort of throat, upper high heart area a little bit, and I could see 3 past lives really easily, and felt them, and felt a lot of fear from them and in me. And then as you did the clearing, it was like those, instead of being movies that I was emotionally attached to, those 3 lifetimes became static pictures that had no emotional content. So it was an interesting visual. So.
Very good. So that gone, you see. So
Yeah.
It's actually quite straightforward to deprogram ourselves. Just got to be focused and stay with it.
Thank you.
Okay. Inna.
Yes.
How was that for you?
Hi, David. Yes, Nicholas, I had experience, like reduce the suffering in the world. I felt that was the purpose, and that was a strongest desire to reduce the suffering, and came up with in utero about 30 weeks of gestation. And I felt that was projection of my mom, making sure that I don't hurt, and in trying to reduce the suffering. It felt like it was not mine. It was my mom protecting me as I will be born, not to be able to get hurt or something like that, basically. So I released that because it was nothing mine, and felt very good about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Leah has written, says, I felt so many lives were involved, it made me realize why I feel so exhausted at trying to get somewhere with my life. Once you did the clearing code, my mind went blank. Yeah. Your divine healing basically is like it's like a laser. It just cuts the program out, and actually sometimes you can't even remember what you just cleared, which means it worked because it's gone. The layer of the onion's peeled cleanly, and you just get on with the next thing. You see, even though the ego may want to say, what was that? And you say, well, don't worry about that. This is next. You see. Yana, how was that? You have to unmute. I'll do it for you. Hang on.
Yeah.
Try now.
Yeah. Okay. It was very intense, and the original feelings came from in utero, and the feelings I had were fear and hopelessness, and that basically my spirit was crushed. And the past lives, the word and the image that came was a mountain, and I just saw this mountain of past lives, and this very murky kind of hill. And there was one particular past life that I know is being there, that I've been working on for quite a while. That was some of the players that are in my life now were in that life as well. And when you made the set the code, it all kind of just deflated. It was like the mountain just kind of went, just deflated. And but that sense of hopelessness was very, very strong, throughout all the past lives and in this life as well.
Thank you.
And
so just so you know,
very emotionally intense as well, and a lot of clearing again from my body around my solar plexus and sacral and right up.
Yeah, just so you know, everything you experience is just a program. Everything. So if it's a program, if you have the right means, processes, you can change it. It's just about getting access to it. So nothing in your life cannot be changed if you can get to the program. Okay, if you've got it, if you're peeling it in the right order in the onion, you see.
Yeah.
Okay. Naomi, how was that one for you? I've unmuted you.
Oh, thank you. Well, the number 18, genetic DNA inheritance, that came up for me. And when we went into past lives, I only saw one. It was an old woman. Well, actually, she wasn't all that old, but she seemed like she was old. I was carrying a basket of something, and I had a white cap on way back in the day sometime. And the basket didn't look like it was very heavy, but I was hunched over as if it was heavy. And then I started getting feelings in my throat again, and right around my mouth started to twitch. And I've been working with being able to speak my truth. So I think it had a lot to do with that. But what was another interesting thing was when you talked about how many past lives, I got 28.
You've been busy.
Which I didn't see all of those, so I don't know. But at the end of that, I felt another clearing in my throat come. So that was very that was very interesting. Yeah.
And what was your main low frequency program? What was the main feeling in your body?
The main feeling as I was clearing, or
just before the past lives, what was the main feeling you had in your body?
Oh, okay. Well, sort of a feeling of not being able to speak my truth, being told that I for whatever reason, that I shouldn't do that. And sort of an unforgiveness, not of others, but of myself. I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a big one for you, that one.
Yeah. So thank you. I feel much lighter now.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Janet, how was that? What was your main low frequency program? What was the feeling in your body?
It was like it was a light right through my body, but it was in my stomach.
A bit hard to hear. You have to slow down when you speak. Do you want to message me on the chat what the feeling was?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's pretty the Wi-Fi is breaking up a lot.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just what was the main feeling in your body, the main low frequency program?
It was like a feeling in my stomach.
Okay, yeah. All right. Thank you. Actually, Mari, what was the main low frequency program you had? Oh, sorry, Janet, you're still going. Can't hear you now. Hang on. Try once more. Let's just get you unmuted. Yeah, what was the main? What else did you say, Janet?
I picked up constriction, and it was like I was pulling back, reaching up and pulling back to
Yeah,
I want to come here.
Yeah, sounds not good, Janet. If you can just message me on the chat, which is in the little little speech bubble at the bottom, because we're really breaking up there. So, okay. All right. Mari, what was your main low frequency program? Just wanted to check in on that.
Not being seen or heard for who I am.
Yeah.
And okay. Not, and me not taking the steps to make sure I am seen and heard for who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. We spend a lot of time in life trying to keep everyone happy or worried about everyone else thinks, because we feel that they're better than us, don't we? Actually, to step into delivering your gift, I talked about mastery at the beginning. You are your own master. You're the only authority who has any say over how you are in the world. Why is anyone else more qualified than you? And if you can reach that place of self-mastery, then it's actually irrelevant what anyone thinks in the end. And that frees you to get on with your mission. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. If they do, which some will, then you're on to a winner. You're delivering your gift. We often hold our gifts back because we don't feel we're good enough. You see, we don't feel we're good enough. But actually, we're usually a lot better than our ego thinks or perceives. Actually, I'll just get a couple more of these. Or for example, when I wrote my book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, I was just praying I'd get some sort of publishing deal and that maybe I'd sell enough to pay the publisher's advance back. And people would say to me, "Oh, you'd be lucky to sell 1,000 books, Nicolas. Alternative books don't do very well. Very small audience." But that was my gift, was to share this knowledge of the soul contract work. And I think we've sold nearly 10,000 books now, and it's still doing reasonably well 4 years on. So even though my ego said, "Oh, you'd be lucky to get a deal," the actual reality was my gift was desired, it was wanted. You see, so and that goes for all of you as well. Okay, there's if we just step into who we truly are and not worry about what anyone thinks and deal with our programs, you can bring that gift out. But only so many people realize that actually the mastery is there if you would just step into it, and the ego just holding you back with all these illusory programs. You just saw how much got cleared now. And that was, I don't know, half an hour, 35 minutes of what we've done now. You know, if you work on yourself regularly like this, the gift is going to emerge. Okay, and then you realize that most of what's holding you back are the fears. It's just noise from the ego. It's paper thin, but it's noisy, you see. It's very noisy because it doesn't want you to shine. It doesn't want you to connect to source, and its job is to stop you. But your job is to dissolve it. And you start dissolving enough of it, it will collapse, and then it'll still be you standing there, you as high consciousness embodying, delivering your gift, and you wonder what all the fuss was about. Okay. David and Lucy, what were the low frequency programs?
Oh.
For me, it was an ancestral inheritance from my, I think it was from my paternal side, my father's side, that was coming through.
Yeah.
That was number 4.
Yeah.
Yep, then that's present, but future in this lifetime, but in the future.
Future life.
Yeah. Yeah, future lives can affect the current life because there is no time. It's just a label, really. Yeah. You can be processing what came from the future or from the past as well. Okay. Well, now we've done some deep clearing. What we're going to do now is help integrate this process, okay? And the way we integrate these things is that we infuse frequency. And so we're going to infuse a nutritional frequency in here to help you integrate. And we'll just share the screen again. So basically this is energetic nutrition, and we have 2 pages of it. So on the first page, there's amino acids and essential fatty acids. So I'm going to scroll down slowly. So if any of these resonate with you, write it down because that's your one. Your eye will be drawn to it. It's like the words will come off the page. Like I just saw linolenic acid that jumped off the page at me. Okay. All right. And then we're going to get onto minerals and vitamins. So we're going to infuse the pure frequency of these physical supplements, okay? Because that's actually what they are really. All right. And this is actually going to help you integrate the clearing because it opens the system up when you do these deep clearings. Okay, and I'm going to go back again so just to make sure. So pick your mineral or your vitamin or your amino acid or your fatty acid. And we're going to infuse it. All right. But you can say the command code with me now. So you guys switch your microphones on. It includes you and the guys who are listening. You can switch your microphones on as well. So it'll probably be a little noisy, but it's more powerful if we say it together. All right, so repeat after me. Higher self.
Higher self.
Please encode this nutrient.
Please encode this nutrient
In the perfect balance.
in the perfect balance
That is required.
that is required.
And clear and align all pathways.
And clear and align all pathways
For maximum assimilation.
for maximum assimilation,
Absorption.
absorption,
And utilization.
and utilization.
Okay, everyone just close your eyes. You feel the frequency come in. You usually feel it'll sort of integrate you and start to harmonize all the shifts that have happened in your body. Thank you. Important to express gratitude. Everyone say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any questions on that process? So that's a little bit of divine healing for you. We cleared a mainly cleared some interference, a low frequency program blocking. You're stepping out there in your mission. A lot of the past lives, probably one of the bigger ones there. And then we did some nutrition to integrate that. How are you feeling? Anyone want to share how they felt, how they feel now compared to when we started, Murray?
Lighter. Good.
Yeah.
Clearer. Cleaner.
Good. Cleaner. Good. David and Lucy?
I feel much more expansive and much more optimistic and much more open to new possibilities.
Okay, good. Good. All right. Naomi?
Lighter, cleaner, clearer, optimistic, ready to go for it, actually. I feel really good.
Good. All right. Sarah?
I feel stronger. I feel like I want to talk, which was my thing, was not talking, not wanting to show up in front of people and talk. So I feel like talking now.
Well, that helps if you're going to get out there and help people.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yana, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I feel a greater hopefulness than I did before, considering hopelessness was, one of the big, the big things that were shifted. And I feel very much that the right time is kind of, the words that are coming. The right time. The timing is right.
Okay,
which is,
good.
is a bit general, but still.
Okay, good. All right. All right, Janet, do you want to have another go? Just see if it's improved. Oh, I think I got a feeling. Hang on. Trying to. Yeah, we're not getting any much voice here. Do you want to use the chat? Chat's at the bottom. Okay, it's
I'll
going
try.
now. Yeah, try the chat. Okay.
I'll try.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything who's not showing themselves? You can if you want. Just put your video on and have a chat. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. All right. So how do you do more of this? So you talk about how you can work on this further. So a few options for you guys. So to safely let go, opening to the flow of abundance and delivering your gift of service to the world, you can do private sessions here. Okay. These are about £178 or $240 for 2 hours with me. They can be done online or in person, and you can find out more about that at freeupyourlifewithdivinehealing.com. Or you can learn to do it yourself, which is a lot more self-empowering, which starts on the 13th of October. Okay. And that's this Friday. And that's done in person and online, starting at 12:30 UK time for 8 hours, 7:30 AM Eastern, 4:30 AM Pacific, and 1:30 AM in Europe. And we do this to cover from California to basically Austria, the Eastern Bloc, okay, which would be where most people come from. So we've had people from Vietnam and Australia and New Zealand and Japan come on this course. But basically, this course is to learn how to do this, that whole manual. I teach you the whole manual in 4 days. It's £490 or about $663 US, depending on the exchange rate. That's where you learn to do all those 26 charts. And it's purely experiential, where I will demonstrate each chart on someone in the class, or we'll do it as a group if it's a simple chart. Then you get to do lots of practice on each other in pairs or threes, depending on the number in the class. So you get it's a 4-day massive healing intensive where you just clean out so much stuff. But not only the healings that you do on each other, but every healing that anyone does in the class, everyone else gets. So you really get cleaned out. But what you actually get then is you get a tool that you can use when you notice how when I had you focus on where you wanted to go with your gift of service, it brought up your programs. So as you focus on where you want to go in your life with your mission, the ego will try and stop you. And that's how you flush the programs out. And that's where you bring divine healing in. Because divine healing then basically will clear the program, because it came out of hiding into consciousness and you could feel it. The program was vulnerable. So basically, focusing on where you want to go, not looking back at the things which didn't work, but looking at where you want to go, will flush all your programs out, and then we just clean them up with divine healing, layer by layer. And that's actually how you get to that place of delivering your gift of service. You start from where you are now. Okay? And then you focus on where you want to go, clean up the stuff that's in the way as it comes up, and gradually you'll get there. That's how I did it. I've been doing this about 10 years now, and ever since I started divine healing, it's gone a lot quicker the more I did. So the cost of self-empowerment is only equivalent of 5.5 hours of sessions with me. So it's pretty good value, really, because after that you can basically be self-propelled and clear about 80% of your programs that have been holding you back your whole life. And the other 20% are programs which are usually core ego programs, which needs another practitioner, preferably experienced, to hold the emotional space for you so you can go completely into the program. But this is how you can completely change your life and get what you do desire. Rather than just dreaming about it, you can start to manifest it. So the deposit for that's £166 or $225. There's still some places on that, and you can find out more about that at thedivinehealingtraining.com. So overall, this is an amazing tool, really, to clean out the ego, embody your higher consciousness, allow it to express in the world, and create the gift you desire, because you're not actually creating it. You're just getting out of the way of the higher part of you, which is actually doing all the work. That's actually what it's about. Little old you doesn't have to do it all. You just got to learn to get open, follow your heart in the moment, and clear whatever comes up in your ego, then life will unfold. Not saying it's not without its challenges, but this is the fastest way I found to do what I do now, is to work on myself at least 2 or 3, 4 times a week with this stuff. And then life has happened. Life has unfolded. I've gone from a place of feeling fearful about doing this to just trusting in each moment. What is doing what feels right in each moment, and then life unfolds and some amazing gifts happen. It's challenging at times, very challenging, but I know from having done this for 20 years that it will work out. And then, because I trust that flow and make decisions pretty much without as much fear, nowhere near the fear I used to have. I just sort of know that, yes, the universe will come to me. It does happen, and often in the most unexpected ways. So this is the gift, my gift of service I'd share with you so you can get on with yours, because that's why I'm here, to help you make that happen. So the question is, do you want to get on with it now, or are we going to wait? Why would you wait any longer to get on with the mission? I think we're all grown up enough now, but it takes time. So any questions on that? Naomi, do you have any questions? You're unmuted. Do you have something?
No.
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 Anyone else got any questions? Okay. No, anyone who's not on the video want to ask any questions? Okay. You put it on the chat if you like. No? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for participating. We had up to 25 people turned up, actually. It was great, and for totally engaging, and I hope that helped you move forward to stepping forward. Okay? Stepping forward to carrying out your gift of service, because you're all needed to ascend this planet, make a difference here. Every individual matters. Or Janet said, not wanting to come into the world, past lives, healing with the earth and helping a healer in Egypt. Ryan says thanks. Aaliyah Dixon says thanks. So I hope that helped, and I'll send the video out later, for the next day or two, and if you watch it again, you can clear another layer as well. Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.